Collision. When a shy girl was slapped in front of 200 students, everyone laughed, until her unbelievable response silenced the entire school. What happened next changed her life, her bully's fate, and the school forever. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove karma never forgets. It happened on a blazing Monday morning when Sarah Malik, a quiet scholarship student with secondhand clothes and a heart full of dreams, walked into Crestwood High School clutching her worn notebook. She wasn't rich, popular, or loud, just a simple girl who worked part-time to help her widowed mother pay rent. But to the school bullies, especially Megan Hartley, the principal's spoiled daughter, Sarah was an easy target. Every day was a new humiliation, but that day, something changed. It started in the school assembly when Sarah, trembling but determined, volunteered to present a science project she had built entirely from discarded materials. Megan rolled her eyes, whispering to her friends, "Watch this trash girl embarrass herself again." As Sarah explained her project, a solar-powered purifier that could provide clean water for villages, the crowd snickered. But when the principal, Mr. Hartley, asked a complex question and Sarah answered it flawlessly, the laughter turned to uneasy silence. Envy burned in Megan's chest. When the assembly ended, she and her clique blocked Sarah near the lockers. "Think you're smarter than us, huh?" Megan hissed. "Maybe you need a reality check." Before Sarah could speak, the sharp sound of a slap echoed through the hallway. Megan's hand had struck her cheek. Gasps filled the corridor. 200 students stood frozen. Phones came out, recording. Sarah's cheek burned, tears welled, but she didn't cry. Instead, she slowly looked up, meeting Megan's gaze with an icy calm no one had ever seen before. "Thank you," Sarah whispered. Everyone blinked. "For showing them who you really are." Her voice didn't tremble, it was steady, powerful. She picked up her project, walked past the stunned crowd, and left. The entire hallway was silent except for the faint echo of her footsteps. That moment went viral by afternoon. A student had uploaded the video titled, "Scholarship Girl Gets Slapped, Her Response is Legendary." It spread like wildfire, drawing millions of views overnight. The comments flooded in, "She's pure class. This girl's strength is unreal." Even local news channels picked it up. Megan's father, the principal, was furious, not at Sarah, but at his daughter. The school board demanded action. Megan was suspended, and the once feared bully became the most hated student on campus. Meanwhile, Sarah tried to keep her head down, but the world had noticed her. Universities, NGOs, and even a science foundation reached out to her, offering mentorship and scholarships. What no one knew, however, was that Sarah's calmness came from something deeper, something extraordinary. 2 nights after the incident, as she sat in her small attic room sketching ideas for her next invention, a soft blue light shimmered across her hands. Startled, she dropped her pen, but it floated midair. Heart racing, she waved her fingers, and the pen followed. She screamed softly, covering her mouth. What's happening to me?" Over the next few days, she discovered she could manipulate energy, draw it, shape it, and even heal small wounds. Once, when her mother cut her hand cooking, Sarah's touch closed the wound in seconds. Shocked and terrified, Sarah decided to hide her gift. But life didn't give her that luxury for long. Weeks later, a fire broke out in the school's chemistry lab during a storm. Panic erupted. The building's old wiring caused an explosion, trapping several students inside, including Megan. The fire alarms screamed as smoke poured through the hallways. Teachers tried to help, but the flames were too strong. Without thinking, Sarah ran inside. "Sarah, no," her mother's voice echoed from outside the gates, but Sarah didn't stop. She felt something inside her awaken, the same blue light she had seen before. Flames parted as if afraid to touch her. Students stared, mouths open, as she lifted a fallen beam effortlessly with glowing hands, freeing Megan and 3 others. Her skin shimmered with radiant energy as she guided everyone out through the smoke. When they reached the exit, the roof above began to collapse. Without hesitation, Sarah raised her hands, an invisible shield formed above them, holding tons of debris until everyone escaped. The moment she stepped outside, the shield shattered and she fainted. She woke up in the hospital to a sea of reporters and flashing cameras. Her mother wept beside her bed, whispering, "You saved them all." Megan, humbled and shaken, sat quietly in the corner, clutching a bouquet. "I'm sorry," she said, tears falling. "You saved me after everything I did." Sarah smiled faintly. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most need saving too. The video of her heroism spread worldwide. Scientists couldn't explain the blue light caught in footage. They called it an optical anomaly, but people began calling her the Crestwood miracle. The government secretly approached her, offering her a chance to study at a special institution that researched human potential. Sarah accepted, not for fame, but to understand who she was. Months passed. Sarah's powers grew. She could now sense emotions, heal others, and manipulate energy fields. But fame came with danger. A powerful corporation, Eterna Tech, tracked her down, trying to exploit her for weapon research. They kidnapped her mother to force her compliance. But they underestimated the girl who once stood silent before bullies. Infiltrating their facility under the guise of surrender, Sarah unleashed her full power. The entire building's systems short-circuited as she moved like living lightning, disabling guards and breaking open containment labs where other gifted individuals were imprisoned. Among them was a little girl, frail, terrified, with the same blue glow in her eyes. Sarah felt a strange pull toward her. "It's okay," she whispered, taking the child's hand. When they escaped and DNA tests were run later, Sarah discovered something that shattered her world. The child was her own biological daughter, born from a genetic experiment that had used her DNA years before she even knew of her powers. Eterna Tech had cloned her without her knowledge when she participated in a science camp as a teen donor. They had been breeding superhumans. Her daughter was one of them. The revelation changed everything. Sarah vowed to bring the company down and free all the children created from her DNA. With help from the students she once saved, including Megan, now her closest ally, they exposed Eternatech's crimes to the world. The company fell, and Sarah adopted the little girl, naming her Hope. Together, they used their powers to help rebuild communities destroyed by disasters, earning global respect. But Sarah never forgot that day in school, the slap, the humiliation, and the choice she made not to retaliate with hate. Years later, as she stood at the podium receiving the Global Humanitarian Medal, Megan sat in the audience, tears in her eyes. Sarah began her speech. "Once, I was slapped in front of 200 students. I thought that was the worst moment of my life. But it became the moment that defined me. Because it taught me that strength isn't in fighting back, it's in rising above." The crowd erupted in applause. Cameras flashed, capturing the glowing symbol on her wrist, the mark of the power that once saved her, her mother, and now the world. The girl they called trash had become the hope of humanity. And when asked later what she would say to those who bullied her, Sarah smiled gently and said, "Thank you, because without you, I would have never discovered who I truly am." Subscribe request. Sparkles subscribe for more life-changing stories where pain turns to power, weakness becomes strength, and heroes are born from the most unexpected moments. Glowing star.